Today I'm going to talk about an album from 1984. The name of the album is Stay Hungry by Twisted Sister. The album was released on May 10th, 1984. It is celebrating 40 years. Let me begin with a personal story. I grew up in a small town in Long Island, New York. My father was a butcher at the local grocery store. One day he told us that one of his co-workers was in a band and it was called Twisted Sister. I was only about 9 or 10 at the time, so I'd never heard of them. This must have been before they released their first album, because I know they played a lot of clubs in the New York and New Jersey area. The drummer's name was Joey Markowski. His stage name was Joey Bright, and I think that he was only in the band for a brief period. I remember that my parents were invited to see them live, but they were not into that kind of music. The band gave us a signed piece of paper, and my brother still has it. Years later, I remember seeing this band on MTV, and I knew that they had made it big. Let's talk about the album. It had two big hits. They were We're Not Gonna Take It and I Wanna Rock. I'll be honest with you, those two songs are overplayed. The best songs are the deep cuts. One of them is the saga of Horror-Teria. The song has haunting melodies and chilling lyrics. It introduced the character of Captain Howdy. First part of the song was a scary story. It was followed by the song Street Justice. The storyline would later inspire films and cover versions and solidify its place in rock history. I'll talk more about that later. I also have it on vinyl. I picked it up last year at a vinyl record bazaar. This is the version that was printed in Mexico. You can see each song has the Spanish translation. I don't know if you can see it here. I'll put an image of it later on. But you can see also the banner on the cover, and I paid 250 Mexican pesos for it, which is about $15, and a really good price considering that records are expensive here. But anyway, back to my story. In 2004, Twisted Sister re-recorded the entire album under the title Still Hungry. Personally, I think re-recording great albums is unnecessary. Case in point, Roger Waters' Dark Side of the Moon Redux, but Still Hungry has a few good songs that were pretty good. Then in 2009, the band performed this album in its entirety for the first time. They played deep cuts like Don't Let Me Down and Horror-Teria, Street Justice, and this introduced a new generation of fans to these classic songs. Let me first talk about the three big songs from the album, and then I'll get to the deep cuts. Their biggest song is We're Not Gonna Take It. It was first released as a single with You Can't Stop Rock and Roll as the B-side in May 1984. The single reached number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart, making it Twisted Sister's only top 40 single. But with great popularity comes bigger problems. In 1985, it caught the attention of the Parents Music Resource Center, and it was included on its Filthy 15 list for alleged violent lyrical content. Dee Snider went up against the PMRC in defense of the song, and I have spoken about this in previous videos. So the song was written by Dee Snider. He cites the glam rock band Slade and the Christmas Carol, O Come All Ye Faithful, as the main influences. The end of the song uses lines from the character Douglas C. Niedermeyer in the film Animal House when they say, "You're all worthless and weak." Remember that line? Mark Metcalf, he played Niedermeyer, and he stars in the video. So the music video was directed by Marty Kalner. It was inspired by slapstick comedy movies. The video begins with a disobedient son, played by Kalner's son, who was the director's son actually, and his name is Dax, and he plays Twisted Sister songs in his bedroom. He's playing the guitar, the family's eating dinner. Then the father, played by Mark Metcalf, which is the main character from the Animal House movie, as I said before, he goes to the boys' room, and he scolds him for being interested in only his guitar and Twisted Sister. Then he kind of gives this long speech, and then he says, "What do you want to do with your life?" And then the son replies, "I want to rock." So he strums his guitar. Then the sound blasts his father out the nearby window. The boy transforms into Dee Snider. The music begins. Snider sings to the other children, and then they turn into the rest of the band, and the video plays out like a slapstick comedy along the lines of something like Home Alone or those like Roadrunner cartoons. So in 2016, Dee Snider gave magician Chris Angel the rights to use the song as an anthem for his HELP charity, which stands for Heal Every Life Possible. They knew each other. They were both from Long Island. Dee Snider appeared in the video of the stripped-down acoustic version recorded in the desert outside of Las Vegas, featuring children in the hospital and a young woman shaving her head to symbolize fighting cancer. This was also on the 2016 solo album, We Are the Ones. In the summer of 2015, the song was used for Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. It was known unofficially as the Trump Fight song. At first, Dee gave Trump permission to use the song, but then changed his mind, saying he had only allowed him to use the song because they were friends. But then respectfully, Dee asked Trump to stop using it, and he did not agree with many of Trump's stances. Dee did not want to send the message that he was endorsing Trump or his campaign. The song was also used by Ukrainians protesting the war. In 2022, Dee also gave them permission. Now, there's another big song called I Wanna Rock. So there's a music video, and it was similar to the one for We're Not Gonna Take It. Also has the actor Mark Metcalf. So in the video, he plays a teacher with a similar personality to the Animal House character or the We're Not Gonna Take It character as well. Kind of like reimagining Niedermeyer. And he's kind of yelling at a student for drawing a Twisted Sister logo on one of his textbooks. So he chastises the student by shouting, "What kind of man desecrates a defenseless textbook? I've got a good mind to slap your fat face," which is similar to a famous line from the movie Animal House. So here's a little audio clip of that.
"I've got a good mind to slap your fat face.
So then the teacher asks him, what do you want to do with your life? The kid answers with the first line, I want to rock. Then, goes to the classmates are transformed into the Twisted Sisters members. So kind of similar to the previous video. They had another one called The Price. I remember the song very well. I used to have one of those metal compilations on a cassette tape. It had the song on it. I don't remember which one it was. It also had like H. Frehley's Rock Soldiers and Judas Priest's Love Bites on it. If you know the compilation, let me know in the comments. Dee Snider wrote The Price while Twisted Sister were recording their second studio album, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. It was inspired by Dee Snider's feelings at the time. He was spending time in England with his band, and he was away from his family for some time. So he really missed them. One day he's talking to someone about this, and that person said, well, Dee, I guess that's the price you have to pay. So that kind of struck a chord with him. It was right at that moment when Dee was inspired to write this song. This was a third single from Stay Hungry. Being a power ballad, the band expected it to give them a third consecutive US hit, but failed to reach the Billboard Hot 100. So there's a music video. Decided not to continue the slapstick comedy theme of the previous videos, and they agreed that there should be less emphasis on the band's makeup and costumes. So the video shows the band performing the song with scenes of them, like with and without the makeup. Now for some of the deep cuts, let's talk about Burn in Hell. This was briefly featured in the movie Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So there's a music video on YouTube, which says the official band music video, but it's just scenes from the movie. So I believe it's fan-made, but they did a really good job on it because the scenes sync up real well with the music. I recommend you look for it on YouTube. Then there's the title track. This one's a hard rocker. The song is very energetic with an awesome drum beat. AJ Pero played the drums, and he died in 2015. Also, the song that opens up the album really sets the tone for this album. Let's talk about Horror-Teria. This is a two-part song, close to 8 minutes long. First part, Captain Howdy talks about a madman who lures a group of lovely little boys and girls into his house, and he murders them. Then part B, street justice happens, and after events in part A, Captain Howdy goes on trial, but the judge is drunk, and he's released on a technicality. Finally, a lynch mob brings justice to this soulless thing, burning him alive, and that's heard at the end of the song. First part of the song is very dark and heavy. This might be one of the heaviest songs. Dee Snider's vocals are very reminiscent of Alice Cooper on this one. Second part of the song is a hard rocker with more of a traditional heavy metal sound. Still has that dark tone, but also sounds like a typical Twisted Sister song. Let's talk about the last 3 songs of the album, which are Don't Let Me Down, The Beast, and SMF. Don't Let Me Down is a typical heavy metal song. Thought it was very melodic, and Dee Snider gives a good vocal performance. Has some heavy guitar chords and an energetic sound. The Beast was one of the slower and heavier tracks of the album. I noticed that they have a few tracks here where they're going into this doom metal direction. The Beast can be interpreted in different ways, but basically about a beast stalking its prey. Then there is SMF. This is dedicated to the band's hardcore fans. Stands for Sick Motherfucker Friends of Twisted Sister, which was the name of the band's original fan club. So in 1985, Dee Snider told Tipper Gore that the fan club's name is SMF Fans of Twisted Sister. It's a good album closer. Typical heavy metal song about there. So yeah, this is probably my favorite album from the band. Although we're not going to take it in I Wanna Rock or Overplayed, I still like the rest of it a lot. If I had to choose a number one, it would be either this one or Under the Blade. Let me know in the comments if this is your favorite album by Twisted Sister. Here's an old ranking video I did of Twisted Sister. My channel was very new when I did it. The video quality is kind of raw, but you can see how I ranked them back then. I'm actually due for an update. I probably should re-rank them. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more stuff like this. I'll see you in the next one.